Hello, ladies and gents. Welcome back to Tink's Medieval Times Battles Bonanza. I'm quite excited about this episode. As I said to you last time when we looked at Arta in 1105, we're building up to the Battle of Turbessel, because I'm trying to line up the battles that I'm doing with the latest Crusader Clock podcast episode. Turbessel is an absolute mess. This is going to be excellent. 6 different factions. Let me talk you through my plan of attack. Here's one I made earlier. Where is it? I have quite a few of these now. Turbessel. So, Broken Teeth Sands. Let's have a look at our combatants. Now, I've decided I'm going to play as Baldwin II, Count of Edessa, today. And you will see that Baldwin has a number of different allies. Just to be very clear on one thing, the Mongols were not at the Battle of Turbessel. In fact, they don't turn up on the scene in the Middle East for another 150 years or so after this battle took place. I have to use them because I can't apparently have the Turks on Team 2 and on Team 1. The game won't allow me to do that, which is a bit annoying. Similarly, I'm fighting against the Kingdom of Jerusalem. That should actually be the Principality of Antioch as well, under Tancred. But I, again, can't do that, so I have decided I'm going to be Antioch myself so I can get all the Edessan troops, and then we'll take it from there. So I'm playing as Baldwin II, Count of Edessa. My ally, the Turkish ruler of Mosul, Jawali, who took over from Jokamish. I don't know if you remember Jokamish from the first Battles Bonanza, the Battle of Haran in 1104. Jokamish is removed from Mosul in late 1105, early 1106. He is replaced by Jawali, who joins Baldwin for various complicated reasons. You should listen to the podcast if you want the full lowdown there. In addition, they also have allies from the Armenians to the northwest of the county of Edessa and the Byzantine Empire, and I've lumped both of them in together as a little Byzantine faction. And finally, there's a host of Bedouin troops who turn up under the Mazyadid Emir Sadaka, who's one of these characters who crops up in various different places around the Middle East, usually in support of some kind of Seljuk authority, which Jawali claims to be. This, of course, upsets his major opponent, Ridwan of Aleppo, who is back for yet another battle today, but I'll be fighting him rather than playing as him to make a change there. So we've got Ridwan, and then we have Tancred of Antioch, who is, as I say, being played by the Kingdom of Jerusalem. I'll just take a quick whistle-stop tour through the armies. None of these are particularly big. I've given myself a lot of knights and some infantry. The Turks have an exciting mixture of heavy cavalry, horse archers. Again, remember they are Turks, not Mongols. It's just I have to use the Mongols for this particular exchange. I've also put in some naphtha throwers as well. Were they present at Turbessel? Probably not. But whenever there's a Mosul army involved in one of these battles, I like to throw them in. They're only 290 florins, so it's not a huge expense for today's Jawali. Then we've got various different mercenaries. The Patsanak mercenaries were named as approaching Jawali's camp in great number, about 300 mercenaries sent by the Byzantine Emperor Alexius. I've had to use Kuman horse archers. I'm sure your Patsanaks would have been very unhappy to be mistaken for Kumans. They're very different groups of people, but unfortunately Medieval 2 Total War doesn't have Patsanak cavalry, so we just have to make do. Thrown in a couple of Byzantine infantry for good measure, Trebizond archers. These kind of represent the Armenian troops that are sent by Baldwin II's Armenian allies. Finally, then we got the Emir Sadaka, all Bedouin soldiers, so either camel riders or Kaseki infantry, and then a unit of these fellas just for good measure. Here's Ridwan's army, similar to the army I commanded at Arta. Actually, I've thrown some Ahdath in. I'll be honest, on a historical level, I'm not sure if they were actually present at this battle. But, I've missed them, so nice to have them back in the game. And then Tancred, who has his usual mix of heavy cavalry and then a good infantry corps with some Frankish axemen. They look fun. Okay, let's get ready to begin. Yeah, it's a very confusing battle, this. Christians and Muslims allied together against other Christians and Muslims. And it all boils down to rivalries between Baldwin of Edessa and Tancred of Antioch. Now, does Baldwin have anything inspiring to say to us before we get started on the Battle of Turbessel of 1108? Come on, Baldwin, I've given you filler. Let's get going.
And now all is said. Let's do it pell-mell and send our enemies to fry in hell.
Oh, let's. And there are a lot of them. I think deployment's going to be relatively straightforward for this because I don't have very many soldiers. Baldwin, of course, wouldn't have had very many soldiers in this battle. He's only just been released from captivity in Mosul because he's captured by Jokamish after the Battle of Haran, and Jawali releases him for a ransom, admittedly, but actually halves that ransom because Jawali has his own reasons for fighting this battle, which is that he needs Baldwin's help to defeat Ridwan, because Ridwan, frankly, is a pain. Let's get going. Who am I facing off against? Oh, I'm facing off against Tancred, which is actually exactly what happened in the actual battle. Brilliant from Medieval 2 Total War. Okay. Well, already these guys have just looked at my army and thought, wow, this is irrelevant. So they're off to go and fight Jawali, which is fantastic from my perspective, because it means that I can wait and see what he does. Although I'm not going to wait too long, because I remember in Haran, when I was playing as Sockman, I did wait for too long, and Jokamish got himself defeated. Ah, look at a fascinating melange of troops over there. Ridwan facing off against Sadaka and the Byzantines. Maybe we'll see what happens there. I have a feeling this battle, what's happening elsewhere in this battle, is going to be far more exciting than what's happening over here. What is today's Jawali doing? Not very much, apparently. Ooh, now can we? Interestingly, Sadaka's forces are getting an absolute drubbing, which did not happen in the historic battle of Turbessel. Actually, the Bedouin army ran away. There's always a bit of an army that runs away in one of these battles, and that was they today. But actually this time they have good reason to run away, because the whole of Ridwan's army appears to be attacking them, and the Byzantines don't seem particularly excited about helping them out. What I think this means we should do is attack. Okay, maybe not. I'm going to send these lads into... Actually, I've got to say, today's Jawali is actually doing some pretty good tactics here. The only issue we're going to have is when Ridwan's army turns up, but I think, given that the Byzantines appear to be coming this way, we should engage. Let's do it.
Our ally has been slain. Now we will see if his men will hold.
R.I.P. the Emir Sadaka. May he rest in peace. I think he's executed by somebody in the actual... Oh, that worked out well.
Our ally has been slain.
God, this is going so badly. Well, at least this one isn't entirely my fault, I suppose, and there's plenty to commend it. Because we've got such small armies, we can afford to have a bit of an Edessan's eye view. Yeah, take that, Tancred.
We must look to our own men now.
Wow. So, okay, this is going very differently to the historic battle. Tancred's army definitely didn't run away, but then to be fair, Tancred's army in the real battle didn't end up fighting literally everyone, which is what appears to have happened here. But yeah, the Jerusalemites, sorry, they're not Jerusalemites, I do beg their pardon, the Antiochians are done. They're all dead, pretty much, all running away. So what that means is old Sadaka, the Bedouin commander, has taken one for the team. Because it means now it's everyone on Ridwan.
Half the enemy force remains.
Right. I'm going to knock out those guys. Oh! What a sandwich. I think Tancred's going down. I think he's in big trouble. Now, over here, the Turks are starting to turn up. So you can see...
The enemy general flees like the coward he is.
Yeah, that's probably Tancred, isn't it? Gone.
We have captured the enemy's general.
Oh!
That will teach the cowardly dog to turn tail and
It
run.
will. I mean, that completely changes the balance of power in the Crusader States if Tancred was captured by Baldwin. You can see that our Byzantine mercenaries, Jawali of Mosul and I, are now drawing up against Ridwan of Aleppo, the last foe remaining on the battlefield. And Ridwan seems to be sending his troops in pretty piecemeal, which is not a good idea, I would suggest. Right, let's get everyone over here. Oh, let's not allow our cavalry to be attacked by...
Run down those worthless peasants!
Run them down, run... Oh, look, did you see the naphtha? Did you see the naphtha? Oh, that's why we brought those fellas to the battlefield. Right, okay, let's kill them. Terrible tactics from today's foes here. This is an absolute shocker. Oh, this seems a bit harsh. But equally, the rest of Ridwan's army is kind of conspicuous by its absence, so we might as well crack on. Oh, look at that.
Our men are winning the battle.
They are.
The enemy is badly blooded. They have lost half their men.
Knights from the one side, naphtha from the other side. Oh, actually, should we let's just attack these Hasham. And then let's send these guys in on the other side. Oh, and then my infantry actually get to do something. Oh, good. Hugely pleasing to see they followed their instructions there. Yeah, this is getting spicy. Right, now let's engage these Iqtidar. This is the melee. This is the melee to watch, isn't it? This is it. This is where the magic happens. Gosh, this battle's an absolute mess. Which I love, because of course the actual battle was an absolute mess. And where did all their cavalry go? Did they die? Oh, I didn't see that. We didn't see that happening. Hey, the Byzantines are here! Oh, it's nice to see them.
The enemy general flees like the coward he is.
Very Ridwan. That is very Ridwan.
The spirit of his army.
Off you go then. See you later. Oh, I have a unit. I have a unit of knights that has one knight in it. Famously bloody battle, Turbessel. So actually, this is playing out in terms of the proportions of people who wound up dead.
Our cowardly foe runs. We must push our advantage.
Well, let's run them down. I can give you a bit more commentary about the historic Battle of Turbessel. This obviously is not what happened in the real battle. Tancred and Ridwan won. But hey, today's Tancred decided to take on 3 armies simultaneously and lost. Today's Ridwan, I actually thought, played this probably better than actual Ridwan did. At least until the end. But actually, the way that he fed his soldiers into the melee one by one in today's battle was far from... I mean, it's far from sound. But yeah, in the real battle, Jawali's army runs away because Sadaka's army runs away. And the story goes, apparently, that the Bedouins see a load of unaccompanied Edessan horses and steal them. And in the process of stealing them, the Turks think, oh, the Bedouins are running away, they must know something we don't, and so they run away too. And then poor old Baldwin is left to fight alone, and does for a while actually, and then probably with roughly this number of soldiers, thinks, don't want to be captured again, so he runs away. Anyway, that's not what's happened today. I won. Baldwin won. Jawali won. The random Patsanak mercenaries won, and I suppose technically Sadaka the Masyadid won, but he obviously isn't here because all of his soldiers ran away from this battle, and indeed the real one. Well, I think that's probably enough fleeing Turks for one day.
Victoire is ours! Let it be a salve upon our wounds well earned.
Well, absolutely, quite right too. Definitely a sentiment I can get behind. So, Captain Udon was in fact Baldwin II, Count of Edessa. Captain Batutai was in fact Jawali Sakal, the Emir of Mosul. I don't actually know who commanded the Byzantine forces. They were sent by Prince Ocean of Adana, but he was not there at this battle, so can't really help you there. And Captain Shahata, who was in fact the Emir Sadaka. And historically, of course, that coalition lost the Battle of Turbessel in 1108, but today we won. And they were fighting Captain Suleiman, who was in fact the King Ridwan of Aleppo, and Captain Raymond, who was in fact Tancred, Regent of Antioch. Ladies and gents, thanks very much. See you next time.